We're here with Lauren Snider, and she lives in Pittsburgh. And along with teaching, she is a mentor to new applicants. So we're going to talk to her about that. And she has her own Facebook page too. We're going to do a whole write-up blog post. So you'll see that where you can see all of her links to get help, especially if you're a newbie or you're new hire or you're an applicant. So let's get started. First question. You're a good singer. I watch your stories all the time, so I noticed that you are a great singer. Are you self-taught, or where did you learn to sing?
Well, when I was a kid, I guess maybe I just wasn't afraid to be on stage. But I know when I was really young at church, they would ask me to sing solos for Christmas Eve and for different things, and my elementary music teacher actually went to my church, and she suggested that I join this group called the Children's Festival Chorus, which is a pretty awesome group. So at like 8 or 9 years old, I was at Duquesne University a few times a week singing there and getting coaching with a group, not like solo or anything, from some very professional singers. So I learned
you
a
are
lot.
formally trained.
That's a little bit. It was for about 3 years, and then I became a little more aware of myself and felt like I can't do this. I'm not good. So
okay, so you said you had written that you really love Voice of VIPKid, and I'm not Voice of VIPKid certified, so I don't know what any of these songs are, like Fruit Ninja.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Do you want to sing it or no? If you don't want to sing it, that's okay. I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay. I'm a fruit ninja. I'm a fruit ninja. Give me food to swipe, swipe, swipe. So yeah, I really like doing those. It's a lot of fun. I think I've only done Fruit Ninja maybe twice, but it makes me all the heart. I did How Do You Feel last night, or How Are You Feeling Today? I don't think I'd ever done that one before, but I honestly really, really enjoy doing those classes. So, a lot of fun.
Okay, that's one thing that's stuck in my mind. So now, how long have you been with VIPKid? Because people probably don't know.
Yeah. I started in April of 2018, and around the end of May, I got my first class.
So you're on your second contract now.
Yep.
Okay. And you started mentoring kind of right off the bat, right?
Yeah, I really was just really excited to go all in with VIPKid, and that's exactly what I did. So yeah, that's
awesome.
Yeah, I got a little bit of coaching help from Tina Garcia, kind of talked to her, and I was like, hey, can you help me out with this? And so I did like a little consultation session with her to learn about what she does for referring, and then I just dove in.
And so talk to us about that. What you have said that you want it to be a really positive experience. So what does that mean for people who are applying? How do you want it to be a positive experience for them?
You know what? I often go back to this. So I went to Journey in Orlando, and the keynote speaker was from Disney, and she gave us this visual that really stuck with me. And she told everyone to reach up high and reach up as high as you could, like just reach. And everyone did. And then she said, now I want you to reach a little higher. And everyone kind of did this. You saw backs get a little straighter and people stand on their toes. And I thought, yes, that's what I want. Like, it's kind of how I do try to live my life. And there's times where I drop the ball. But VIPKid has been an amazing experience for me. And I want other people to feel that. I want them to say, this is a great experience, and this is what I expected, but then I got a little bit more. So, when I'm coaching people, I had this idea to give them some props when they get hired, because I know for me, I was really stressed about all the money I'd spend on printing. So I signed up for HP Instant Ink, and I used all my extra prints to send props to new teachers and try to get them off on the right foot so they're not stressing about stuff like that.
Yes, and that's a really nice, and I mean, it's kind of an incentive, but it's really practical because it kind of shows them what they will, the essentials for teaching their first classes. And also because, like, I think, well, for me, I bought all this stuff that I didn't need, and now half of it I don't even use, really. There's just a
totally
few.
understand that.
So, as an experienced teacher, what they'll need every day in the classroom. So, if I were a new hire, or let's say you are or not a new hire, a new applicant, someone who's just messaging you saying, what's this VIPKid? Is it a scam? Is it real? What do I do? How would you proceed?
I always tell people, I know that this seems too good to be true, but it's not. You will work, and it is a job, and there are rules, and there are things you need to do. You are on a one-on-one platform with students in something that's similar to Skype or FaceTime, and the curriculum is prepared for you. You don't have to do a lot of extra, but you should have in your mind a couple of questions that you might want to ask a student if they really know the material well. And I like to give people some tips. I have some like general things that I can just pull up like that for extensions. And you just go in there and follow the lesson. Follow the lesson that they prepare for you. Be ready for anything.
Okay. Okay. Yes, and those are all good tips. And when you're preparing them for their mocks, you were telling me some things, so I just want you to tell everyone what you do for them. And now it's for people, a lot of the people are in your area, so do you do anything if they're in your if they're in your area, do you meet with them, or do you meet with them on Skype?
Yeah, I haven't met with anyone personally. I've only had one person that I know in my area that was one of my referrals. But I do meet with people mostly on Facebook video chat or Facebook audio chat. And I just like to get to know the person, because I think that's another thing that makes this experience kind of reach a little higher. Like knowing who that person is that said, oh, here's my referral code, like, why did they want it? Who are they? And I want them to know that I'm going to be there to help them through the process. So I do like to take the time to do that. Some people don't want to do that. Maybe they feel uncomfortable, whatever. But more often than not, people are like, yeah, I'll chat with you about this. Yeah, I'll take a look at your classroom and, see what tips and stuff you have. So yeah, I really enjoy doing that.
So you were candid about your first experience applying with VIPKid with me. So, and I think it's a good story because other people probably have the same experience. So would you mind sharing it with the community?
Yeah. All right. Well, I first applied with VIPKid in, I guess it would have been July of 2017. And I was like, I wasn't real sure about it. I was kind of like, I guess maybe this is legit. But I had found someone, like a friend of a friend or something on Facebook that did it, and I used her referral code and asked her a couple questions and whatever. And I thought, this will be easy. I taught first grade and I taught ESL. This shouldn't be any trouble. And I went through the demo interview, and I was like, woohoo! They sent a contract, and it says how much I'm going to get. And I was so excited. I was like, this is easy. So the rest of this is just fluff. First mock, I was so nervous, and it went well, and I passed on, and I was like, see, here we go. Second mock, I got the "you failed" email, and I was like, I didn't even want it at first, but when I got the "you failed," I actually cried. I cried to my husband, and I cried to my best friend. I was like, I can't believe this.
And so that's when you knew that you really did want it.
I guess I did, and I didn't even realize it. But a few months later, in October, I got an email from them saying, hey, we kind of liked what we saw, and we want to give you another chance. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. No, you didn't want me the first time. You don't get me now. But time passed, and in April, I went back to that email, and I clicked on the link, and I went to the class that they asked me to go to, and I was hired the next day, and I just never looked back.
Yeah.
Never looked back. So I
you know,
often tell people when I'm coaching them that if you didn't get hired before, try again, because
yes.
sometimes it's just a matter of applying one more time and giving yourself
Yes.
another chance to get it right.
And I think that's, I think that's a great story because you didn't get discouraged or, or maybe you did at first, who wouldn't, but and you just kind of pulled up your bootstraps and did it again. And now look at where you are. So going to VIPKid Journey and meeting me there in Chicago.
That's going to be great.
Let's see, what's next on my list? So are you where you want to be right now with VIPKid? Or is there some other goal that you want to attain?
I think that I will feel like I have hit my, I've done what I want to do when I'm in that trip to China.
Oh, okay.
and
I'm sure you could do that.
I hope so. I don't imagine that I'll win it for most referrals because I'm getting there. I'm working on it, and I don't teach a lot of trial classes. Maybe for community someday at some point, but I don't know. I really hope at some point that I get to meet my students, and I have to go to China. I never ever thought that would be on my list. I just I didn't know anything about China.
Okay. Yeah, so that's another question I have. So I've seen you, making the sushi rolls and, not that that's completely Chinese culture, but I've seen you doing different things with Chinese culture or, Far Eastern culture. Is that something you've always had an interest in, or did VIPKid kind of spur this interest in you?
No, definitely VIPKid spurred this interest. My husband did study Asian culture in college. And he can speak some Japanese, and he's very interested in art, Asian art and stuff like that. But that was something that I was like, okay, whatever. And now I'm like, no, we need a trip to China. We have to learn to make dumplings. We have to make sushi. So I'm learning these things and just really enjoying it. So it's fun.
Okay, that's great. Is your schedule where you want it to be? Are you working as much as you want to?
Yes. You know what? The only thing that would change is if I weren't homeschooling my kids, I probably would open up a lot more, time slots. But I'm happy where I'm at. I'm totally full for what I want to be.
Okay. And it seems like, your happiness, you exude happiness. So we can all see that.
Thank you.
So home life, you homeschool your kids. How old are they?
My son's 10 and my daughter's 7.
And your son does Lingo Bus, and he seems to be pretty awesome in Chinese already.
Yeah. He's had a couple months worth of lessons. I guess we started in September, and he just does it, and does it very well. He gets languages and they come to him quickly, so he's really enjoying it.
Okay. And how do you feel about Lingo Bus? Is there some teacher that you've gotten acquainted with that you want to tell other people in the community about?
We love Teacher Carrie.
Okay.
He has been he's been my son's teacher for a lot of classes, not all of them, but he's our favorite, and he's the teacher that we always look for first. But it's very interesting being on the other side.
K-E-R-R-Y or
C-A-R-Y, yeah.
C-A-R-Y. Okay.
C-A-R-Y, yeah. It's funny being on the other side though, and seeing he went to visit his grandma for 10 days and he only works these many hours. And I'm like, come on, Carrie, work a little more, please. We need to schedule with you. So.
And I remember you were just doing a trial class before, and you weren't sure if you were going to be able to do it. So what kind of tipped the scales in favor of doing it?
You know what it was? Honestly, my son really liked it, and I thought this would be really good. But they had a really good sale, and their
okay.
Sure. Discounts for teachers are really helpful. So I really do appreciate that. And but yeah, now that we're in, I'm like, we can't not have classes. So I just keep signing up.
And did you use your tokens towards that, or are you still using your tokens for that?
No, I didn't. I wish I could get to the point where I could save that many tokens, but I got really excited very early on to spend my tokens on different things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I spend them on the Amazon gift card
Gift cards, yeah.
thingies. Oh, that was actually from you. You gave me that idea because
Oh, really?
you like posted about how you had spent a bunch of tokens. I'm pretty sure it was you. And
Yeah,
then you got like 10 of them and I was like,
I
"Oh,
did.
cool." Then I did it
Yeah.
and then I think everyone kind of caught on because now the winnings have been very sparse.
Yes, I have not won one in a while, but yeah, definitely over the summer people were not interested, and so yeah, I think I got like 7 or 8 $5 gift cards in the course of a couple weeks. It was nice.
Yeah, and you know, I'm an Amazon fan. I'm sure you are too. Who isn't, actually.
Yeah. Yep, just a little.
So what do you and your family like to do in your spare time? I know that your husband works long days.
Yeah.
So what do you do when he can get away or when you can all get together as a family?
We're pretty chill. We like to go, I mean, we like to watch movies together. We like to go to the Y and swim, you know, or go wherever. Like my kids just enjoy the water so much. So if we can get to a place where they can be in the water, they are so happy, and that's kind of like the goal. But my husband's very big into video games, so there's a lot of video gaming going on in our house. Not so much.
That's cool. I love video games too, but you know, I had to put it away because I couldn't, you know, separate the video games from my adult life.
I get it.
But yeah, I love video games too. So was that your first time in Orlando when you went to Journey?
Oh no. No. We love Disney. Our first trip to Disney, my son was 9 months old. So
okay.
And we've been a couple times.
Okay. But you guys had a blast, and do you wear your Minnie Mouse ears? Is that like part of your costume?
I wear them a lot. I didn't realize how much I was wearing them until one of my students said something on WeChat about the mini teacher. And I was like,
that's so cute.
Yeah.
That's so cute. So you have kind of a nickname. That's great.
It's kind of funny.
So you're also into crafting.
Yeah.
And you said you're self-taught, correct?
Mostly, yeah. I had some people help me when I was younger. You know, my grandmother taught me how to knit. My aunt taught me crochet. But it was one of those things where I knew the basics, but as I got older, I had to, you know, turn on YouTube and open up some books and learn how to do a little more detailed
the fancier stuff.
So, yeah.
Do you make most of your props for your classes in your reward systems?
I actually don't. A lot of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. I haven't made a lot of things. Every now and then something crosses my mind, but
okay.
You know, since I started, everything was kind of like dive right in, and I just don't have a lot of extra time. I'm constantly working with my group or working with a referral or teaching, and just not a lot of extra time for stuff like that.
Where do you get most of your props and your backgrounds and all of that really nice stuff that I see?
A thrift store junkie.
Oh, yes. I love thrift stores too. I love rummaging.
Yeah, that's where a lot of it is. Now, these ones, this is from Amazon.
Okay.
The cloth is from Joann's. They had a big sale. They're my pens from Journey.
Who knows?
Yeah, my son made that out of
Did he?
Out of a tuna can last night. I'm just like, he's just, look at all this, like ears.
Wow.
He just had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, but a lot of it's from the thrift store. I started off with some nice whiteboards that I thought were nice, that were cheap, and they ended up just being cheap. So now I have a bunch of Melissa and Doug stuff from the thrift store that works really well.
Oh yes, Melissa and Doug, of course. So anyone who's still looking for places to buy props and rewards, your local Salvation Army or Goodwill is the place to go, and also to get orange t-shirts.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
So is there anything else that you want to say or bring up?
Oh my gosh. I don't. I So I did want to tell you about my Feedback Panda experience, though,
Yes,
because I thought that was, very worthwhile. I told everyone, well, I tell everyone that I'm like a very frugal person, and typically my thought is like, if I can't get it, at a thrift store, make it myself. Like, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And that's how I felt about Feedback Panda. Initially, I thought, oh, I don't need this. I do my own feedback. I sit here with my phone and I go through the slides one by one and do all of that. And that's working for me. And then I signed up for the 30-day trial, and I did that right before I was going to Journey, and I was teaching a lot of extra classes to pay for Journey. And it was literally like the skies opened up and, oh!
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Feedback was done so quickly that I just couldn't. I didn't even know what to do. When my 30-day trial was over, I was like, no, I'm not going to need this. I'm not going to pay this. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. So, and I said, even if I do need it, I'll wait till after Journey. So I had like 5 days of doing feedback without it. And oh my gosh.
It was miserable.
Worst days ever. Yeah. It was horrible. So I came back and I said, you know what? Honestly, it is worth it because I save so much time by using Feedback Panda. Feedback Panda, I can get my feedback done in 10 or 15 minutes, where it used to be 10 or 15 minutes per student. So,
and now there's someone saying, can you tell me more about Feedback Panda? So maybe you can, Miss Jess Little Successes.
Hi.
Are you acquainted with her?
I don't know.
Well, let's tell her a little bit more about Feedback Panda. So how would you describe it?
So it is like a way to have all the feedback you need for all the classes that you're going to teach, and in one place, so that you do not have to write every single line of your feedback. I am able to use the information from my classes to find what I need and then just kind of give it a little personal touch. But Feedback Panda knows the names of your students. You will input that or use a link to have that brought in, that information. Then it knows if you're talking about a boy or a girl, and it will generate the feedback for the correct sex. You can add these smart sentences that are so great, okay? When I was going to Florida, I kept typing, I will be gone for 10 days. Da, 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 da. When I had those smart sentences, I could just write that once and then click one button, and that was all I needed to do. So easy. It makes it so simple.
Could I ask you, if you don't want to answer, that's fine. But how many classes on average a month or a week would you say you teach? Let's say on a monthly basis.
Okay, I teach about 120-ish classes a month.
Okay, so I mean that's a lot. But people who teach a whole range of numbers of classes use Feedback Panda. People who teach more than 200, some people who teach, maybe 4 a day. So, and it's also something that integrates with the portal and manages all of your students so that you don't forget what's going on with them.
Yes. I haven't done this yet, but I know that you can take pictures of your students and load those into Feedback Panda.
Yes.
And I know that there are people that absolutely love that feature, that they just screenshot their students and put that in there. And I think that's
it's
really
good
cool.
for, especially when if you have a couple of students here or there who might pop up like once a month, and
like, which one is that again?
Yes. Or if you have 10 kids of the same name and you're like, which Leo is this one? Or which,
Yes. So, I also love that you guys remind me of their birthdays like soon, like further out than VIPKid does.
Yes.
So that I remember to like prepare that.
Yes.
And I like to send my students cards, so I need as much time as possible.
Yes. It's just all centralized. Well, thanks for bringing that up. And you do, you have your Facebook group where it's called, tell us what it's called.
It's called VIPKid Newbie Teacher Island.
VIPKid Newbie Teacher Island. And I'm a part of that group too.
Yeah.
I'm not a newbie, but I like to see what's going on and,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe answer a question here or there if I can.
Right.
VIPKid Newbie Teacher Island.
Yeah. Newbie. Here, I'm typing that in. Teacher Island.
I
Yeah.
was trying to figure out how to pin the
Oh.
comment, but I didn't figure that part out. But anyway, that's on Facebook, and Lauren dispenses a lot of advice and helps out new people.
Yeah.
And
That's.
Lauren is going. Lauren bought her ticket anyway, her conference ticket, and has to sort out all the other details.
Yeah. I'm working on it. My
Yeah.
husband's not super excited about me going, but I think I'm gonna have to be there. So it was too much fun. Orlando was just so great, and you meet so many great people, and it's so exciting to meet people in person. So
yes,
yeah, I've got to be
I think
there.
it's high time that I go. I haven't been physically at these places before, just for whatever reason, but I've been, digitally I've had somewhat of a presence, but not physically. So this is, my time to really get acquainted with people.
Yeah, definitely. You'll enjoy yourself. You will have so much fun.
Well, and I'll see you there in your blast. So we'll do the scavenger hunt together and whatever, other activities they've got going for us.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. The scavenger hunt in Orlando was great. I need some ideas. I made this shirt for Orlando, like with Dino.
Great.
And I need an idea for Chicago. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I need like Dino being blown away, right? That's the way it's thinking, right?
Oh no, Dino being blown away. Poor Dino. Yeah, but you've always got great ideas, great VIPKid fashion going on.
Oh, thanks.
Well, if you have nothing else to bring up or announce, I want to thank you a lot, very much, for joining us today, and
thanks for having me. It was great to
talking
talk
with us
to you.
and just being really honest about everything, about your own experience. I really appreciate that, because that helps other people, because it's great to post how well we're doing and this and that, but we also need to hear when things don't go so well, because it's true for all of us, and and I think it's good to bring it out into the open so other people can not feel so alone.
That's where the island came from. I felt like people were feeling alone.
No man is an island.
Yes, it's not really an island. We're all there with you, alone.
Well, thank you so much again, and have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Goodbye.